go? Are we there? Hello.
Are you done playing in the garbage?
Are we here?
Yes.
We're on?
Yes.
Live?
Yes.
Okay. Did you catch me with the garbage bag? Oh, hello everybody. First of all, I am so sorry about yesterday. Our internet died and I could have gone onto my data and forgot about that. So here we are today. Hopefully we're not going to have the same problem. And today is one of those kind of days that I'm quite excited about because rather than just show you things that are already in the gallery, we are going to have one of those unpacking days. So the artist that we are going to be unpacking, this work has just arrived from Calgary. I know where it's from. It's just arrived. Brian, you know, if you tuned in a minute earlier, you would have caught us spatting. Not spatting about much, but just about, anyway, that's all. So now, here we are. We have 3 boxes of Ashley Morrow. Ashley Morrow is a very talented artist from Calgary, Alberta, whose work is really cool, and the aesthetic is wonderful. It's a very, well, you'll see pretty soon, because I'm going to open these as soon as I get around to it. But the one of the things I want to caution everybody is, as you'll know, you'll see 3 boxes here. The boxes are in good condition. That does not necessarily mean that what is inside is in good condition. Now, Brian wanted me to fake it. You know, he said, why don't we just sort of like unpack it, make sure everything is safe, and then repack it, and that's no fun. Because the reality is that sometimes things do break in transit. Hopefully this is not one of these times, because we have had occasions where you're sort of sitting there thinking, oh my God, what the hell has happened here? But anyway, so that's what we're doing. Also, it was really neat because these things are, and just for...
This is painful.
I should have maybe had him open the... As you can see, this has not been faked. And I bet that I've just...
Because usually I open the boxes.
Usually Brian, you know, but this time, seeing as how I don't have a pre-COVID manicure, I thought I will do it. Okay, so there we are. This is going to happen again next week because Judy from New Brunswick has sent us, and I love this work that she does. And so that is in transit. And what was really nice is Canada Post called me yesterday and they said, you know, are you going to be there on Monday? Because we've got 4 large boxes from New Brunswick. And I said, oh, yes. So, and I said, nah. Well, I said I could be here, but he said, anyway, so is anybody curious about what is going on? Now, she sent us, she's packed them really well. She's actually packed them a lot better than last time, because usually when Ashley's work arrives, we have to do that phone call and say, well, you know, 2 mugs arrived broken, and there you go. But
there's 24 of these mugs.
There's 24 of these mugs. Oh, by the way, if I'm unwrapping one and you say, because these are all, remember, one of a kind, and her designs are very labor intensive, and we'll talk about that once I get one of the damn things open. But they're pretty cool. Very, very. Are we saving this cardboard, Brian?
Yes.
We're saving the cardboard, but
everything else in the trash.
Well, we're not trash.
Garbage. The stuff that you just cut open. That.
Oh, that garbage. Okay. Brian is always trying to keep me under control. Okay, look at that. Okay, isn't that gorgeous? Now, just so you know, this is a sgraffito. So she has covered, she's thrown the mug. It is a tossed mug, a thrown mug. And if you remember my conversation with Mindy Andrews, because these are also pulled handles. If they're not pulled handles, Ashley will tell me in no uncertain terms very shortly. But these feel like a pulled handle, and I know what a pulled handle feels like. But what's really cool is I love it when Ashley's work writes. It's always a little bit different. These have got a little bit of an indentation, but she has done something new for us, which even Brian is unaware of, and look at that. Isn't that cool?
That is fabulous.
That is absolutely amazing. That's a ladybug, and these are just wonderful.
They're $45 each.
They're $45 each, just in case anybody's wants. So if anybody's, you know, so there we've got ladybug number 1. So we're going to talk about this as I. Oh, and here's another mug. So this is considering that there are 24 mugs, maybe we will at some point say, okay, this is a medium mug. And I know it's a medium mug before opening it because she has written medium mug. Now look at this. Brian's getting in on the act. And, he can't let go. We are, Jesus Christ. It is.
We only have an hour.
We only have an hour. Does anybody have kids? Yeah. Okay, this is kind of beast. So yesterday, by the way, we were supposed to talk to Mike. And Mike had tidied up his living room. You remember Mike? We talked about Mike's collection last week. So anyway, he tidied up his living room. There was no underwear on the sofa. And we were going to, and he was sitting there oh my gosh, look at this. Isn't that lovely? This, what I don't know if any of you remember, but back in the 20s and the 30s, there was this artist that used to do like this silhouette work. And that's just what it looks like. It just reminds me.
Clarence Cliff?
Clarice Cliff, yes, but I was actually thinking of the pictures, anyway. But yeah, that could be a little Clarice Cliff. But really, really nice. This one does nothing inside. She doesn't normally ship with coffee anyway. But, there's no... Okay, so Brian wanted to get into the big box. And the big box are 3 medium mugs. So we're still on the medium mug size. This is all... Isn't this exciting? Aren't you just thrilled to bits? And it's keeping up a pattern while doing something as boring as unpacking this, but at the same time you are going to when all of this stuff arrives, we're always excited to see it and deal with all the trash. We haven't thrown out our trash for 6 weeks, actually for longer than that, 2.5 months, because unfortunately people go through our trash. I don't know what they expect to find. Oh, there. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? And she does a wonderful handle as well. This is very comfortable. Feels nice.
Her mugs sell really well.
Size is consistent, which is really good. But they sell really... And then, look, I love the signature. She's got like a little stamp in there. And down here, the clay is white, but she has stained the bottom. I have to remember to talk about stains after the screw up that I did with Cindy Andrews, also from Calgary. But, look at that. This is like the foothills. So if anybody's there who's looking at anything from the foothills, there you go. Isn't that, look at the kind of storm clouds over there, or they could be more mountains, I guess. But yeah, so this is really kind of cool. Again, no more... Don't tell me she's only sent 1 ladybug. Everybody's gonna want the damn ladybug. Oh, and look, that's got sort of like grasses,
like a Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. Yeah. By the way, if you're out there and you say, "Oh my God, I want that one," say it so we don't have to figure out later which one from 24 mugs we're supposed to find. Especially if there are more. Okay, so that is the cardboard. Oh, there's another one. Yes, here we go. I have to tell you, Brian and I are very gratified that for the enthusiasm of people watching, we're allowed to open on Tuesday. Now, open for what that's worth. So we've got things in play. This again, 3 medium mugs. So opening is going to be a little interesting. So we're going to have hand sanitizer. Whoops. Yeah. So yesterday Brian and I did a little day drinking. That was fun. Day drinking happened to extend into evening drinking. That was fun. Fortunately, it didn't extend into hangover, which would have made this. Whoops. She's really, look at this. She's getting better and better. Any of you people who send us mugs, if you're an artist out there, look how this is done. This person has it down to an art. An absolute art. And no more ladybugs. So I need to be really, but look at, this is kind of, yeah. But just, wonderful design. So remember these. So what she's done here is really cool. So it gets covered in the black, and then it gets scraped away. Any of you who are familiar with Judy Wheaton's work, this is a similar technique. But here you've got these are either mountains or she's got an affinity for Madonna. One of the two, because though, yeah, you know Madonna. Yeah, so that is that's that. Okay, excuse me now while I open it. Box number 2, and this is yeah, box number 2. What's behind door number 2? I was just talking to one of our artists and letting her know that she was going to have a surprise she would have had a surprise next week if I didn't call her. Okay, now we have what is called a large mug, not to be confused with a medium mug. So we will be able to look at this and see what the hell she's done. It'd be really interesting to know why there are no bugs in the other mugs. It's one of 2 reasons. She either did that first one and thought, this is taking too much damn time, and so we only have the one ladybug mug.
It's the first time we've ever had color on her work.
And it's the first time we ever had color on her work. So there you go. And it's inside. So, Jesus Christ. But yeah, so this is kind of fun. This cardboard will be recycled. Yeah, we're going to build a house. Oh my word. This is absolutely... Look at that. This is absolute... I bet she was stoned. I'm kidding. I mean, weed's legal in Canada. But look at that. Isn't that awesome? Jesus, I love that. Oh, I bet that doesn't last long. That looks like... If any Star Wars fans out there, you're listening, Stephen Colbert, this could be your mug when you're there on Stephen Colbert at home. This is what makes it really exciting, because every one of these mugs is decorated. Now, you have to remember, this is a mug that's $45. If she sent these to us without a handle, which would be a hell of a lot easier for her, we could get more, because then we would have, what would we have? We'd have a vase. But you can stick flowers in it. You can stick flowers in it after you break the handle off at home, when your kid has knocked it off the sink. Or anyway. It's a shame about all this plastic. We must ask her to...
It's better than tape.
Better than tape, but maybe she could do elastic. Do you know, this was a good idea when we talked about it in theory. So if any of you are getting bored, it's too bad, because we have to do this. It's Saturday morning. Oh yeah, so as I was saying, on Tuesday, we're going to be able to... Oh my God. Magic mushrooms, that's what she's on. Look at... Isn't that... Now, for somebody who wants... I mean, this would hold a bottle of wine. I mean, a really big mug of coffee. But just look at that. And, you can see it. There's been a little bit of clear cutting over in Alberta. But the mushrooms are great. And that's just fabulous. Brian's equally enthused. And... yeah, so starting on Tuesday, we will be open. We're going to do reduced hours because I can't, but we're going to have the sanitizer at the front door. For those of you who've been to the gallery, people will be allowed in to the front part only. And we've got a staging system so that when somebody comes in, they will, rather than putting their hands all over something, and they will have to wear a mask. If they don't have a mask, we will provide them with a mask. So this is, more mushrooms. Yeah. So then when people, she really has done an extraordinary job packing these things. So that'll give, as I said, we're going to have a staging area, so that way things can get properly sanitized and all that. and only a couple of people in at a time, and the whole shooting match. But oh God Almighty, I really appreciate what you've done here, Ashley. You've done it excellently. Now I appreciate. My cousin. I sent out some penguins of Judy's out to Vancouver, and because I was terrified of the wings breaking. I mean, these poor penguins, they left in their own igloo. And by the time, it took me 3-4 hours to pack them. Well, it took poor Peter 2-3 days to unpack them. And I'm really getting a sense of what he went through at the moment. Oh, more mushrooms. But what's nice is when you look at these mushrooms, you can see that it's a whole field of mushrooms, not just the same mushroom over and over again. So that's kind of cool. And no, I'm not on mushrooms. It may seem, this might seem a little bit like that. One of the things about these videos, as I prattle away, and Brian had Stephen over to the house last night for dinner. So I don't know. I think that he may have had a bit of wine. I certainly know Stephen had a bit of wine, because all of a sudden at 2 o'clock in the morning he wanted to have this big conversation, and I was sound asleep, so he talked to himself. There you go, another mountain one. So if somebody's looking for a little mountain view, we've got mountain views, we've got mushrooms, and we've got by the way, if you are in London and decide that you have to have, we will deliver if you're in London. If you're elsewhere, we will pack. We had somebody from Saskatchewan, which was kind of cool, that we had no idea who the heck they were, but they are just starting a collection, and they bought 2 lovely pieces of historical work, which we packed up, and knowing Brian, the guy probably spent as much time unpacking it as I am unpacking a bloody mug. Well, it's better that, previous shipments, to be fair. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is so cool. I'd love to know what she's on when she's doing this. Kevin Stafford used to do these really cool mugs that were all hand painted. And he used to do them while he used to decorate them while he was watching the soap operas. So, and then we've got, of course, Judy does her tiny birds while she's watching television at night. So often the little things that just to keep their hands busy. That's not what I do to keep my hands busy, but anyway, I'm glad I trimmed my nails last night. This would be very difficult. We're still on the large. We've got one more large, and then I think we switch over to medium. Ooh, for any Laura Ashley fans, isn't that gorgeous? These little quatrefoil. How do you like that? A quatrefoil, 4-leaved flowers. Yeah, just absolutely incredible. Yeah. Is anybody saying anything, Brian, or am I talking into space?
Huh.
Oh, what?
Canada Post is discounting their shipping rates until July. Great time to ship.
Great time to ship. That's absolutely incredible. Of course, what was it? I just ordered something from anybody who's into leather, like really into really nice leather goods. Fees, Original Goods. Now, I got to tell you, he is an awesome guy. He's Fees, P-H-E-E''S, Original Goods, out in Halifax. And he was somebody that when he was in London, I happened to be in buying pizza, and this guy came in looking as if he didn't have 2 cents to rub together and wanting a slice of pizza. And as he was looking at his coin, I said, I'll just get you your pizza. And then, oh, look, a big bug. Isn't that stunning? Wow. So anyway, he said, oh, no. Anyway, I bought him his pizza. And then later on in the day, he came in, and this guy was traveling around the world, part of a team.
The person watching, he was her studio mate.
Who?
One of the people watching.
From Fees? Oh my God! he is so cool. So anyway, and he's so really into the supporting the arts community in Canada and all that stuff. So as you can see, my bloody belt, which is very old and falling apart totally. So I got in touch, because we keep in touch on Facebook. He's a funny guy. And so anyway, I ordered a belt from him. Of course, I had to do it earlier in the week before he decided today to offer free shipping for the day. But anyway, I'm really excited for him. And he's so I've got this belt, which I now know is in transit from Nova Scotia. Because it's really, Brian and I are doing our best to support local. So that's why I drink Sleeman's. All our weed is Canadian. Whoa, I haven't had any this morning. And so it's really important to support local. When I go to the grocery store, I make sure that the cows gave on this side of the... see, now here's the same kind of flower. Well, no, it's not the same kind of flower, but it's close. This would be a nice companion. But the other one has a ladybug and that one doesn't. So if you've got... that's a perfect gift for a husband and wife. One can be buggy and the other not. I always get a kick out of when husbands and wives come in to buy a mug, and they make a point that each has their own mug, and that's what everybody has an opportunity to do here. And Ashley's black and white are the big ones the same price as the small ones?
They're all 45.
So how about that? So even if you are not a size queen, you're not going to have to pay extra. So that's pretty good. So we're not selling them by the inch. And just so you know...
It's still the same amount of work, whether it's a large
it's the same amount, big or little, So, look at that. That's a Michaelmas. You know the word? Why can't I say it? Daisy. Yeah, whatever. So, I felt so badly for Mike because yesterday there he was sitting in a clean living room. And I've been to his house. His living room is always pretty clean. But there he was, no underwear in the living room. Well, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not going to go there. But so we're going to talk to Mike next week and talk about his, he's got some absolutely amazing stuff. And it's interesting because, as you know, I think he's a chemical engineer. But materials, what goes into the glaze and all that really intrigues him. So it's fun when we're talking because he'll say, oh yeah, this is cobalt, this is whatever. And oh my God, look at that. Oh, do you know who needs that? If Mim and Rob are watching, that's a semi. Oh, that'd be great. Rob can have his own semi. Semis aren't always fun. Sometimes you want them a little more. Never mind. Okay, so moving right along. I want to thank, some people have been so generous in their well wishes to us, really concerned about us hanging on and surviving. But Brian and I have this theory that we're awesome and we're going to survive because, every now and then I get, when you're baking a cake and the egg is supposed to go that way and the shell is supposed to go that way, and you're talking too much, and all of a sudden you realize that the egg is in with the shells and the other shell is now squashed in with the eggs. Sometimes, oh God, this is, by the way, this is not a COVID haircut because I got it cut last year and just haven't been, here. Now this is really neat because this could either be leaves or this could be a lot of mouths, somebody with a very tight pursed mouth. There you go. I hope everybody's, are they hanging in with this? Mm-hmm. Wow. It's good to see that people like to see what's happening. And so far, Thank you. Jesus Christ. I don't know. One of the things that I can't stand is getting a hair in my food, but I never thought it'd be from my own head. Where's my... Oh. Okay. This is thirsty work, folks. Physical labor, it's just something I'm not used to, you know. Fortunately, I've got Brian and Stephen. They kind of, you know, come along behind me. And they're always telling me that as well. My mom used to say the same thing. Actually, when I was a kid, I used to pay my sister to clean my room, and which she didn't mind doing, but she told me that she didn't mind doing it because what she used to do was look for all the coins that fell out of my pocket. And so even though whatever I was paying her, she was looking, I think she made more picking up the coins off the floor. And looking at my bedroom today, it's still often like that. There's always coins everywhere. I always think of it, as long as there's coins on the floor, I'll never go hungry. I don't know where I got that from, but you know, it's like when you're a kid, or you know, the first thing you do when your parents stepped out of the house was go check the sofa cushions, you know, sort of like top up your allowance. And then there were the times that you couldn't do it because you were going out and you needed some extra beer money. Of course, now we don't have to worry about going out. That's why it's really important. You know, you got to think here for a second. Oh my gosh. If anybody's got crabs, there. It's wonderful. There's a crab there. You know, so I guess they have water. Oh, and there's a bird. And once the bird gets around there, there'll be no more crab. These are absolutely kick-ass. I mean, Ashley's really, you know, one of the things that I love is that when the artists sell us things, because she knows that she's going to be next to Steve Irvine and Kao and Ingrid. So when they send their stuff, they always send really, really good examples of what they do. And which is kind of very flattering to us, and it's really nice for our clients. Because after all, getting good examples, and sometimes they do things that are only for us, like Judy and her birds, except for the little guys. But the big birds, I mean, those are us. You know, it's kind of interesting to, considering we're just unpacking mugs, and the fact that I haven't shut up since the camera went on, and also I was talking even before the camera went on, because Brian was yelling at me to make sure I didn't make a mess, and I think I failed. So there you go. Oh, there we go. These are the little flowers. So somebody could have big flowers, little flowers, and we are now, thank God, we are at the last mug. We are at the bottom of the box. We've hit the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, so that is, and yeah. By the way, if anybody's interested in the mug while they're here, don't forget you can call us. We will be here for half an hour afterwards, or you can DM Brian on there, and yeah, because this is possibly our last Saturday of freedom. Oh, speaking of which, what days are we switching these to?
Tuesday and Friday.
Mike said that Friday's not a good idea because that's when that's why the internet's always going out on a Friday, because all the companies are. What do you think of Tuesday and Thursday?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to our shop one is going to be Tuesday and Thursday now. It's still at noon?
Yep.
Yeah, we're still going to do it at noon. So that's Tuesdays and Thursdays will be the Canadian ceramic ones. The one that I've been doing from home every day for what seems like forever, they will be on definitely on Wednesday, probably Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, because I can play with myself here because Brian is not here. So that's what we'll do on what? Oh, look at this.
That's quite phenomenal.
Now you know where those leaves came from. See that? Where's that one with the leaves? Where is it?
Right there.
Oh, here it is. See, now you know where the leaves came from. And look, so you see there's very much touch.
Oh, there's a tree on the back.
Yeah, that's why I said that's where the leaves came from. That's where they come from, trees. Oh, sometimes they come from bushes. But anyway, so there you go. So anyway, if you see something that, remember, Father's Day is coming. These are great mugs for a guy because you can get, well, my fingers are slender, of course, because I hardly do any work. But you can get fingers in there. Yeah, it's true. What? It's true. He's laughing like shit. So, I don't know if anybody's ever noticed. This isn't the most serious gallery in town, even though we do know. Actually, anywhere, but we do know our stuff, and so there you've got. Oh, and she's doing some platters for us, but they haven't arrived yet. So there we've got Ashley Morrow, Calgary artist extraordinaire, with these wonderful sgraffito mugs, of which only 2 of them have ladybugs, and it must be a Mr. and a Mrs. because there's a small bug and there's a big bug. It's kind of like Brian and I. He's the tall guy, and I'm supposed to be the short guy, but I'm really not. I just seem short when I'm standing next to him. So this is your Saturday night. How long have we been talking?
Half an hour.
I've been talking half an hour. So should we talk a little bit more? What are we going to talk
Sure.
about? Do you know what we're going to
talk about? Darian's fiber pieces.
Darian's fiber pieces? Oh, they're too far away. Why don't we talk about
the
naked guy? Yeah. Okay, we have an artist, George Shadford, and we are going to be having a show of his work. But if anybody knows Pitbull, you can just, I don't know if I should have a little leaf. I mean, this is public TV. But this is absolutely extraordinary. George is an Ingersoll artist. His work is absolutely phenomenal. And what is really interesting about this work, often when people come in with their kids and, got the kids are doing a little giggle. And I said, no, you have to, so I just walk up and that's when I kind of become very serious. I said, okay, guys, do you know what it's about? So, of course, all they see is a naked man with a ball. Except what is really significant here is if you are familiar with anything in nature, all the tattoos on the body, the monarch butterflies, the Bengal tiger, the koala bear,
it's a panda.
The what?
It's a panda.
That's a panda? That's a panda?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry, my head was in Australia. I should have been over in. So many people now aren't talking about China as favorably, but yeah, that's a koala bear. And here you've got the, I think that's a griffin or a baboon. But all of these are the little geckos and the tree frogs. These are all species that are endangered. So the significance of this piece, and by the way, George also made these little sunglasses, which are just absolutely phenomenal. So when you look at the piece overall, all the tattoos reference items in nature that are endangered. Okay? So now think about this for a moment. The tattoos are on the body, and it's just like man is the support of the natural world, because as much as we've screwed everything up, the reality is that the natural world, to a great degree, relies on us to provide an environment where they can be safe, where they can flourish, and where they can continue to propagate and not move towards extinction. Now, here you've got the yin-yang symbol. Now, the yin-yang symbol, of course, is that whole symbol of balance. So again, it's symbolizing the idea that it's man's responsibility to maintain the balance. And here you have the phoenix. Now, of course, the phoenix, especially anybody who's read Harry Potter, the phoenix, burns and then rises again from the ashes and goes on to live another day. So the symbolism is really, really quite remarkable. And then but as important and as significant it is that we take care of nature and that we provide the support for the natural world, the other reality is that we still have to have fun. So there you've got the beach ball. And the beach ball, of course, it symbolizes the idea that, go to the beach, have fun. I mean, today, go there and have fun, but make sure you socially distance. I'm really pleased to see that he's not wearing Crocs. So you got the little flip-flops and the what the hell did that say? he says something there, which one of these days I'm going to have to ask him. But anyway, this is a phenomenal. You know, his major sculptures like this take a lot of time. The balance, everything about them is extraordinary. We are going to be talking about George's work in another thing, bringing out a lot more of his work, a lot more of his sculptures. But George is a really, really wonderful artist, and as you can see, the guy's unclipped. But it's really spectacular. But if anybody knows Pitbull, please let him know that I think that's who it looks like. I'm really glad that I've got my hair long at the moment, because nobody was somebody good. Anyway, so there we go. That is a wonderful piece there. And so that's your Saturday unwrapping. As I say, we're here. Feel free to call if you're long distance, 866-229-5244. Local, 519-434-5443. I've paid the phone bill today, so the phone will actually ring. There you go. There you go. I hope you all have a wonderful long weekend. Be safe. Wash your hands. Remember social distance.
We'll see you on Tuesday.
And see you on Tuesday. Thank you very much. Sayonara.